When they arrived, they were already arguing. My mother's voice sharp as broken glass. My father's face red from shouting. I watched from the porch as their car crunched over the gravel I used to play on as a kid. They didn't see me yet. They were too busy planning how to guilt me again. The realtor trailed behind them, clipboard in hand, nervous. He had no idea what kind of family war he'd just walked into. Then they saw the new tenant step out onto the porch and froze. That was the moment everything fell silent. The moment my revenge finally exhaled. It started 2 months earlier, over dinner at my parents' house. The kind of dinner that tastes like obligation. My sister Emily had just gotten engaged. She wanted a forever home. And my parents had already chosen the funding source. My inheritance. You don't even live there, my mother said, slicing her chicken with surgical precision. That house is just sitting. It's selfish to keep it when your sister needs it. I laughed, a dry, brittle sound that didn't fit the room. You mean the house Grandma left to me? My father didn't look up. We're family. We share. They said I was being dramatic. That money shouldn't come between blood. But it wasn't money they wanted. It was control. They always did. When I refused, my mother's voice cracked like thunder. Either share it or you're not my daughter anymore. That was the last family dinner I ever attended. For weeks they tried everything. Guilt, threats, emotional blackmail dressed as concern. Emily even showed up crying on my porch. You already have so much, and I'm starting a life. She wasn't wrong. I did have something. A memory, a promise, and now a plan. I noticed something during those weeks, the desperation. My parents weren't just trying to help Emily, they were overextended. Their business was failing. Their new house was leveraged to the bone. They needed my property's value to keep their illusion alive. So I waited. I pretended to soften. I let them believe I was considering selling. That's when I called a different buyer. His name was Marcus, a quiet man with calm eyes and a handshake that meant business. He wasn't just buying the house, he was investing in a safe haven, a halfway home for women leaving abusive families and relationships. I sold it to him for less than market value, cash, clean transfer, irrevocable, no turning back. I didn't tell anyone, not even my best friend. The satisfaction of silence was part of the plan. A week later, I moved out everything I owned, cleaned the rooms one last time, and left the keys on the kitchen counter. The air inside still smelled faintly of my grandmother's perfume. I whispered a thank you and goodbye. 3 days later, my parents arrived with a realtor to inspect their future listing. I watched from my car parked down the street. They walked up, proud and entitled, rehearsing how they'd convince me one last time, or take legal action if needed. The realtor knocked. The door opened. A woman stood there, early 30s, fresh bruises still healing on her cheek. Behind her, a few others moved boxes and furniture, quietly, cautiously. The woman smiled politely. "Can I help you?" My mother blinked, confused. "We're here to speak with the owner. This is our daughter's house." The woman tilted her head. "No, ma'am, this house belongs to the Safe Steps Foundation. We bought it last week." That was when Marcus stepped out. Calm, deliberate, professional. Everything was done legally. If you'd like, I can show you the deed. My father's jaw tightened. My mother turned pale. She looked like she'd swallowed something sharp. The realtor shifted awkwardly, realizing he'd walked into a family implosion. Then my mother saw me, standing at the end of the driveway, hands in my pockets, silent. For a moment, her fury softened into disbelief. "What did you do?" I walked closer, each step deliberate. I honored Grandma's wish. She wanted this house to protect someone who needed it. Guess it just wasn't you. My father started shouting, threats, accusations, the usual script. I didn't flinch. I just turned to the woman at the door and said, "You don't owe them an explanation. This place is yours now." Then I left. They tried to sue, of course, but the paperwork was airtight. The title had already transferred, funds cleared, everything perfectly legal. And the more they fought, the more the world saw what they really were. Two parents who tried to steal from their own child and lost their grip on their golden image. They stopped calling after that. Emily sent one text months later. "You ruined everything." I didn't respond. Because for the first time, I wasn't the one holding their guilt. I was free. Sometimes I drive past the house. There are flowers in the window now, laughter echoing in the yard. It doesn't feel like mine anymore, and that's the beauty of it. They wanted to take what was mine.